to Low Willow Empire, the channel for beginners in Age of Empires. Today, we're going to talk about what is considered a beginner in Age of Empires 2 YouTube channels and what should be considered a beginner. Age of Empires 2 has been around and remastered for over 20 years now, because of its longevity and because of the amount of training material on YouTube videos that teach you how to improve the game. Most influencers call as beginners even players with a lot of experience, and yes, this culture is spread at the online game community. Most tutorials on YouTube will consider a guy that can compete against the AI in the highest level a beginner. And I have to say that without 200 hours of play from this or previous editions and without hours of training with using a good tutorial from the internet, you probably won't be able to deal with an extreme AI. A player without using YouTube training material that have just played against the computer and online with his friends probably will not be able to deal with an extreme AI even after 500 hours of play. And it's a perfect possible scenario, since although there are more than 40k active online ranked players in this game, this is a game developed 25 years ago, meant to be offline, with the great majority of its players playing offline against AIs. Of course, previous experience with other RTS games, real-time strategy, like World of Warcraft and StarCraft, will help you to improve at a much faster pace in Age of Empires. Although players with a lot of experience are considered beginners in YouTube videos of this game, don't worry if you are a brand new player and still want to have fun online. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition uses the ELO system if you play ranked. This system allows you to play with people of the same level, whatever is your level. For working on the beginner definition, I will make some assumptions based on the database that will be on the description of this video. Giving you some data. There are more than 200,000 players following Age 2 in Steam. There are about 40k active 1 vs 1 ranked players. There are more than 15,000 people actually playing this game in the peak of a regular weekday. From this 15k people, less than 500 of these players are playing 1 vs 1 ranked online. 500 of 15k is 3%. Assuming that players who don't play 1 vs 1 ranked online usually will fight much weaker AIs than the extreme AI in single player, agreeing with the biggest Age 2 YouTuber, Spirit of the Law, that the extreme AI level is more or less equivalent to a player at 1000 ELO, knowing that half of the players that play ranked 1 vs 1 are below 1000 ELO, knowing that according to Steam achievements, less than 10% of the players defeated hard AI in a 1 vs 1 match, and less than 5% of the players defeated the hardest AI in a 1 vs 1 match. We can safely assume that the ones that do play ranked 1 vs 1 in average are much better players than the ones that don't play ranked 1 vs 1. Most YouTube channels, especially most of the big ones, consider you a beginner if you can't win against extreme AI. So we can assume that for YouTube, if you are not among the 5% best Age of Empires players, they will consider you a beginner. Actually, more than 95% of the players on Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition are considered beginners in YouTube channels. Recently, since they have to descend from the Pro Olympus to coach some regular, actually intermediate players as a business, a lot of influencers are gradually understanding the actual scene. But you can find a video of the best player in the world making a tutorial in 2023 written in its icon, beginners, 1000 to 1100 ELO. And in 2022, the same YouTuber made more or less the same type of tutorial written, beginners, 1200 ELO. Besides that, they are very good educational videos, and I will add them in the description for you to check it out if you want to improve. So, we have the definition of a beginner in most mainstream Age of Empires YouTube videos, but what should actually be considered a beginner? Adding to the data analysis the experience of more than 1000 hours of play and the introduction of 5 new players with different backgrounds to the game and a few interactions with the game community, we will set the following standards. First question: what is a normal previous experience that players bring in their backpacks before discovering Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition? A regular player starts in Age of Empires with 500 recent hours of experience from MOBA or shooting games. That helps his actions per minute, especially the MOBA experience can be quite useful. In addition, the regular player will have some RTS experience, like 100 hours played 5 to 20 years ago from Age of Empires or other similar games. This previous RTS experience is the most inflation on improving faster among the experience, right? Followed for the MOBA experience. The most famous MOBA is League of Legends. A normal brand new player is the one that still don't stand a chance against standard AI on 1 vs 1 match in an open map. In the ELO ranked system, a regular brand new player is from 100 to 200 ELO. This guy usually have less than 10 hours of play. Most of them don't know what is the purpose of the majority of the tags. For example, a typical newcomer will go from 100 to 200 ELO, playing from start to the end of the basic tutorial campaign. He or she will be learning the basics to get rolling in the basics to get rolling in the game while playing a really nice campaign. A normal beginner player is the one that may win a fight against 1 to 3 standard AIs, but don't stand a chance against moderate AI on 1 vs 1 match in an open map. In the ELO ranked system, a regular beginner is from 200 to 400 ELO. This guy usually have 10 to 100 hours of play. Most of them know how to pass through the ages, but produce very few villagers during the course of the game. For example, a 200 ELO player usually will struggle to reach 30 villagers by the end of a 1 hour long game. A 400 ELO player will easily have more than 60 villagers by the end of the game, but will have the same amount of idle and production time in the TC during the first 30 minutes of the game. A normal intermediate player is the one that may win a fight against 1 to 3 moderate AIs, but don't stand a chance against hard AI on 1 vs 1 in an open map. In the ELO ranked system, a regular intermediate is from 400 to 600 ELO. This guy usually have 100 to 300 hours of play. Most of them are making good use of the advanced tutorial in the game called Art of the War, not just trying it out, but practicing until they get medals. They also start to discover the meta ranked strategies from YouTube videos. For example, a 400 ELO player does already know that he shouldn't stop making villagers in the first 3 ages, and a 600 ELO player does already know how to fast castle, even if he still normally don't use aggressive meta strategies. A normal advanced player is the one that may win a fight against 1 to 2 hard AIs, but don't stand a chance against extreme AI on 1 vs 1 in an open map. In the ELO ranked system, a regular advanced is from 600 to 800 ELO. This guy usually have 300 to 600 hours of play. Most of them not just know the meta strategies, but perform them in their games. For example, a 650 ELO player usually will go for a field rush with archers or scouts, and a 800 ELO player is capable of killing the first enemy villager with a scout rush before minute 14. It is a good assumption that less than 5% of the players are above the normal advanced player that we have mentioned, so I will call these guys elite players. Most of them are very far from the top 20 players that have 15 years of experience and or 20,000 hours of play, but any of these elite players should not be called beginners. If you are a beginner from the mainstream definition, you sure can find precious material here, like this video itself, so please subscribe. If you are an actual beginner or an actually intermediate player, this channel is your home. Please subscribe and have joy with us. A special thanks to the kings of the game, Hera and Viper. Don't get me wrong, Hera is not just the best player in the world, but make very good educational videos that I use myself to improve. Viper is number 2 in the world and was number 1 for 10 years. He looks such a nice person in the interviews, that make me think how would be the world if every professional player in every sport have the same kind of attitude. Another special thanks to the best and biggest Age of Empires YouTuber, Spirit of the Law, that has a more math professor approach to the game and brought the initial data for this video and a video in a video that I will put in the description. And finally, a special thanks to the best Age of Empires commentator, that is T90. He's a showman and a top 100 player in the world that casts most of the official professional tournaments. He made a series called Low Elo Legends, supposed to cast beginner games, but in reality, this series is the best place to take a sample of normal level of playing from beginner to advanced level, link in the description. If you like the video, click in the thumbs up right below. If you fit in any of the two beginners definitions presented, this channel is for you. Please subscribe. The next video we will show a traditional opening of the game, a fast castle build order that is better than the one in the advanced tutorial Art of the War inside of the game, and is easy to perform. Thank you for watching, have fun on your games, and see ya!